Friedrich Nietzsche said, "Our world is shaped by the will to power, and that whatever comes from weakness is evil." So we fight in a constant struggle for influence, domination, and power. But what then stops this will to power when it grows out of control, when it begins to persecute and oppress those around us? In the movie Fences, Viola Davis plays Rose, the loving wife of a garbage truck driver played by Denzel Washington. At first, it seems like Denzel's character named Troy is a good and loving husband, but it is soon revealed that he has a dark and tortured past. A past that drives him to be harsh, unforgiving, and finally unfaithful.
Talk. I'm trying to tell you, find a way to tell you that I'm gonna be your daddy. Yeah, I'm gonna be somebody's daddy.
Troy reveals to Rose that he has conceived a child with another woman, and that he had been cheating on her for nearly a year. Rose is understandably furious with him, but even after breaking Rose's heart, Troy continues to see his mistress until late one night he gets the news that his mistress died giving birth to his child.
Alberta died having a baby.
She died. You say she dead. Alberta dead.
They said they'd done all they could. They couldn't do nothing for her.
Troy comes home later that night carrying his daughter in his arms, and he asks Rose to be her mother. The mother of this child who is a constant reminder of Troy's cruelty and infidelity. A child whose flesh was born of the womb of the enemy. And Rose, who finally has the power or the upper hand in the relationship and the ability to crush Troy in the way that he has crushed her, instead of striking back and getting revenge, takes the baby in her arms and loves her as her own daughter. The movie ends shortly after with the funeral of Troy, and the message is clear, that Rose, through her act of mercy, has put an end to the cycle of hate, cruelty, and infidelity that was cycling through their lives. And what we had thought would be a symbol for all that evil had in fact become her beloved daughter, a happy and healthy daughter who doesn't know hate or cruelty because her mother made the choice to end it. Rose's daughter stood as a symbol for mercy and love, but nearly 100 years before this movie was filmed, the real 12-year-old daughter of Luigi and Assunta Goretti found herself not only as a symbol for mercy, but in the position to give it or deny it. Maria was home at her family farm, looking forward to Mass the next day, after just receiving her first communion, when she was startled by the sounds of footsteps behind her. For months, she had been stalked by a house guest named Alessandro, who had threatened to kill her if she had told anyone what he wanted to do to her. Finally, he found her alone and dragged her into the kitchen where he pressed a knife against her. Maria screamed no, that it was a sin. She then told him she would rather die than submit. That's when he stabbed her 11 times, and then 3 more times when she attempted to reach the door. They found her alive but bleeding badly on the floor. Maria was rushed to the hospital where they treated her wounds without anesthetic, but the damage was too great. In her last precious moments, Maria told her family that she forgave him for what he did and that she wanted to see him in heaven. She died shortly after, and Alessandro was picked up by the police and sentenced to life in prison. Alessandro remained unrepentant for his actions until he had a dream that he was in a garden. Maria was there, and one by one she handed him 14 lilies, one for each one of the times she was stabbed by him. A gift from Maria letting him know that she had forgiven him. When he woke, he was a changed man who dedicated his life to prayer and service. When he was released from prison 27 years later, he went directly to Maria's mother and begged her for forgiveness, which she gave, saying, "If my daughter can forgive him, who am I to withhold forgiveness?" No one would have blamed Rose if she had walked away from Troy and left him in all his anger to raise that girl alone. And no one would have blamed Maria if she had damned Alessandro in the last breaths of her life. But then the cycle of cruelty would have simply continued. Troy did not deserve to be shown mercy by Rose, but his heart was changed when she did. And Alessandro did not deserve to be forgiven by Maria, but his entire life changed when she did. And consequently, the lives of everyone else around them. Both Maria and Rose were innocent victims that forgave their persecutors not because they deserved it, but because they knew that true justice is not found in revenge, retaliation, or retribution, but instead is found in the mercy of God, a mercy that sets captives free and allows hate, fear, and oppression to die. And like Maria's mother said, if my daughter can forgive him, who am I to withhold forgiveness? And even better, if my God can forgive them, then who am I to withhold forgiveness?